For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? Going out to eat at a restaurant. My parents won $1,500 at a lottery once. They bought a new sofa, to replace a 25-year sofa, a phone, and we went to a mid-range steakhouse, first restaurant for whole family. I was 20. I don't know if anyone can relate, but in about 3rd maybe 4th grade, me and my twin brother had a music class where we were both required to buy a recorder. Like a plastic flute thing. Well, my mom said we didn't have the money, so my twin brother and I tore the whole house up in search of $6 for 2 recorders. We brought a Ziploc bag full of change, pennies, nickels, dimes, etc. I think the teacher felt sorry for us, cause she paid for our recorders when the rest of the students left the room. Gave us the Ziploc bag back. Thank you, Mrs. Albrecht. Edit. Well, shit, never thought I'd get this sort of response, let alone even a single award. Thank you to all those kind souls who gave me one. Until the age of 12, I thought that you weren't allowed to buy things that weren't on sale. My mom only bought things when they were on sale and/or she had a coupon, so I thought that the non-sale items weren't being sold. In middle school I was on reduced school meals, so it would be .40 for lunch. So my parents would always give me 2 quarters every morning for lunch. Now the cafeteria would also sell cookies, which wasn't part of the lunch set, for .50 each. So saving .10 each day, I could afford 1 cookie by Friday's lunch. Good times. Edit. Rip inbox. I was wondering why my phone was blowing up at 7 a.m. haha. You just triggered a memory from my childhood. Also had reduced lunch at 40 cents, also got 50 cents from my parents. Except I bought 2 pretzel rods with it, which were 5 cents each, or I would wait 2 days so I can buy a fruit roll up at 20 cents. In middle school my parents were doing better, so I didn't qualify for reduced lunch. My parents gave me $2 a day to get subsidized lunch, but I was so programmed to worry about money, I would buy a dinner roll and a Sunny Delight, because that totaled 90 cents and I would save the rest. I put the money in my sock drawer. Months later my parents found the money and asked where I got it. I explained what I was eating for lunch and I was saving the rest in case we need it. I didn't understand at the time, but that look on my father's face was heartbreak. He then ordered that I use the money to order a full meal going forward. Edit. Wow, looks like this struck a chord with others, was not expecting that. Thank you all for the upvotes and awards. I love that Reddit allows for these types of stories and connections to occur. Be excellent to each other. Aw man, I felt this one from both sides. Yeah, oof. I was both son and father in this situation. It's amazing how being a parent makes you realize that your parents weren't bad at parenting, they were just trying to do the best they could. Edit. To be clear, this is obviously a huge generalization. There are some truly bad parents out there. But in many of cases it's not intentional. It took a long time for me to realize that. My parents weren't always great, but after a while I realized that they're just human, doing the best they can. It helped me let go of some of my anger. Grew up pretty poor in Arkansas in a trailer. I literally got a door to my bedroom for Christmas one year. It probably still was the best gift I ever received. Edit. Whoa, didn't expect this to blow up. I guess I tapped into the vein of my poor Arky brethren, go pig sooie. Edit 2, reading through the comments, I'm surprised so many others didn't have doors either. Feels good so many can relate. I grew up poor in Arkansas too. We didn't have central heat or air, so I had to chop firewood for our wood-burning stove to stay warm in the winter. We lived way out in the boonies too, so convincing my parents to spend gas to take me to a friend's house was really hard. My BFF's parents cooked meth, so their house was even more rough than mine. Boy, if that ain't the most rural Arkansas story I've ever heard, coming from a rural Arkansan. Lol. Near here, yeah, I was starting to doubt her story until she mentioned meth, go Razorbacks. Right there with you. My mom grew up literally picking cotton by hand on a southeast Arkansas family farm. When I was 8 she would get up at the crack of dawn to get the wood stove going so I wouldn't be cold when I got up. She put herself through college while raising me and finally escaped the shitty marriage her family forced her into and became a CPA, and by the time I was in high school she ran a CPA firm that was next door to Hillary Clinton's. I used to watch Hillary walk to her car every day actually. Like, I do not understand how this woman has come so far in her life, even though I've watched her do it. BC, I was there for most of it. Still baffles me. Your mom sounds awesome. Good for her. My mom is amazing. Like, even though I was a kid I watched and paid attention. I see all the steps she took to get from there to here, and Therese like. A million places along the way where it have given up and she just gets back up over and goes harder. I got pretty excited to be given my own bed. Same. Slept on an old futon for about 10 years as a kid. I could feel the metal bars through the mattress. My sister had a double-sized bed, however. I only got to sleep in a double-sized bed once I moved out of my parents' place. I also slept on a futon for most of my childhood. When I went to college, I couldn't believe how amazing those crappy twin mattresses felt. Whenever one of my peers mentioned going home and how nice it felt to sleep in their own bed, I couldn't relate. School parties where everyone brought something to share for lunch. If you don't bring something, you don't get to participate. I brought 2 carrots after not being able to afford school lunch for 2 years. Even the teacher laughed at me. My young self just decided that day that some people don't deserve lunch. Edit, holy shit guys. I just woke up, but thank you for all of your kindness and all of these awards. I didn't expect this at all. I'm in a better place financially now, as some have asked, so don't worry. That was so many years ago. I have decided that my children, should I choose to have them, will have what they need when they need it. I hope all of you have such blessed, happy days, because you've made me smile, too. I know the feeling. Our language classes always had potluck day where kids would bring dishes from whatever language the class was. I took French for 3 years, and 2 of those years, my family couldn't afford to participate, and my teacher decided to let me participate after she saw how much food everyone else brought, but she made a point to berate me for it. I didn't eat out of guilt. Well, maybe a cup or soda or something. Edit, I just wanted to add that this happened in my first year of high school about 16 years ago, and it's still one of those moments that pops up every few years to keep me up a few extra hours at night. Thanks to the better teachers out there. When I was young, I always wanted to be a teacher because the good teachers made just as big of an impact as the bad ones in different areas of my life. Keep fighting the good fight, you're one of our best defenses from keeping society from falling apart completely. People like that shouldn't be teachers. My school system has a free lunch database where if you qualify, need to apply for them, all basic lunches are free. Entree, milk, vegetables, fruit, yogurt, cheese stick. Other field trip fees are cut in half or waived, and class fees are waived. All of them. Instead of upvoting this, find the nearest school system or county and donate. Helps kids and teachers. We had something similar. There was a book with your name in by one of the 2 registers at the end of the lunch line. If you got called to the wrong till, you had to say that you needed the other till. The staff would ask why. They were not content until you explicitly said I have free meals for all to hear. The free meals were only up to the value of 1.00. They also would not supply water, so you had to decide if you wanted a drink or a dessert. And the cost of items meant you could only choose chips with a Rice Krispie cake or chips and a little Calypso cup drink. Those Rice Krispie cakes were amazing. Children don't ask to be born. I believe free, well-balanced school meals should be available to all. Edit to say a massive thank you for my first gold. If only I had gold when I was back at school. Smile. My mom was having some financial issues after a massive layoff at work. She asked me to file for the free lunches. The school declined it because my dad made too much money. My parents are divorced and I only saw him every other weekend at this point. So mom told me to ask him. He refused to give me more than $1 a day. Lunch was $1.85. He insisted I was lying when I said it wasn't enough. I ate ketchup packets. Mostly my friends bought me lunch sometimes for a couple years in middle school. And in high school $1 got me a cookie. After 2 weeks of cookies, the lunch ladies just started giving me a sandwich with it. I've never been so happy for a chicken sandwich. What lovely lunch ladies. They were the best. If they did that nowadays, they'd probably get fired. For my school's Spirit Week, they had a thrift shop day, where most everyone dressed in old ratty clothes, or the weirdest stuff they could find in a thrift shop. Needless to say, as someone whose clothes were 80% secondhand, it was an eye-opener. New shoes. Edit, I just woke up to see that this exploded. Thanks everyone for the votes and awards, I really didn't expect this. I got treated like shit when I could get shoes, because I was still poor and could only get knockoff Chucks. People are duck faces. Oh well. I always got cheap shoes, like Zeller's Kmart store brand. Teased all the time for them. One day my dad splurged, got me a pair of Nikes, Sir Jam, when we were on vacation. It was the first time in my life I'd ever had name brand shoes. Someone stole them from my locker. That will teach you to try and not be poor. I hear you though. My name brand stuff was hand-me-downs. From other family.